Okay, brothers and sisters in Christ, I want to get into this discussion because this is coming really, really, really fast. So Revelation chapter 13, verse 7 is clearly talking about a one-world government. It says, "And authority was given him over every tribe, tongue, and nation." Authority was given him over every tribe, which means all the tribes of the earth, and tongue, which means all the languages of the earth, and nation, all the nations. That's a global entity, a global organization that's in control over the whole entire globe. It speaks for itself. Look, and authority was given him. Wait. Yeah, and authority was given him over every tribe, tongue, and nation. And then if you go down to verse 8, it's talking about a one-world religion. All who dwell on the earth will worship him. And it's literally amazing of where we stand today. So, the him, where it says, and authority was given him, is talking about this world dictator, which is the Antichrist, the man of sin, the son of perdition, the single leader. But this is what I want to get into. Is Revelation chapter 13 from 16 to 18, where it says, "He causes all, both small and great, rich and," you see that? And he causes all. It doesn't say some, a few, a little. It says all. That's universal. For that to happen, there has to be a global economy. You can't have the Canadian dollar, the United States dollar, the Japanese dollar, the Australian dollar, or whatever dollar. Everything has to combine into one in order for you to force this upon the citizens of the world. So it says, "He causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their foreheads, in that no one may buy or sell except one who has the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him who has understanding calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. His number is 666. Everything's going to go into digits, digitalized, everything. So, Scripture says it. Do we see anything like that heading in that direction? Well, people that have studied the New World Order will know exactly. That's exactly what's happening. They're getting everything's headed towards that direction, exactly as the Bible said. It's all coming up together. Because right now, the beginning, the New World Order leaders, the leaders that have been working on a New World Order, but they're all puppets from Satan. Satan's using them to set up the Antichrist kingdom. First, they had to start with Europe. They had to create, because there was this guy, what was his name? Leon Trotsky. Yeah, Leon Trotsky said, first, we need the United States of Europe, and then we will progress to the United States of the world. So they had to unite Europe, and then they would unite the rest of the world. That's exactly what they did. Now you have a European Union, you have an African Union, you have an Asian Union, and what is underway right now is a North American Union, where Canada, US, and Mexico emerge into one super country, where we share the same currency, called the Amero. They already have the coin ready. It's just incredible. So think about it. They're uniting all the currencies, they're uniting all the economies together for what? So that you can combine them all into one. So you're going to have the Asian Union, the African Union, the European Union, the North American Union, and they're going to unite it all so we all become one, a global economy. Isn't it funny though? Like before, we used to hear about the United States economy, the Canadian economy, and so on and so on and so on. And yet now all that we're hearing is global. Like even here where I live in Canada, my Prime Minister, Stephen Harper, he said, like I said to Canadians before, and I say it again, it's no longer called a Canadian economy. It's a global economy. I know many people, they don't like the idea because the way with their national sovereignty, but this is a simple reality. He also spoke at the G20 summit. He's like, we're going to have to work globally. We're going to have to work. And then another guy from Canada said that we're going to have to give a bit of our sovereignty up for a bit of security to create a better world, you know? And this is amazing. Like, I just saw something. They said in the Canadian Council, that's where they're actually all working all together, in the Canadian Council here in Canada on the North American Union. This is what's happening. And even Henry Kissinger came out and said that the NAFTA thing has nothing to do with free trade. It's an amazing architect towards a new world order, a one world government. And yet the Bible told us about this 2,000 years ago. But this is what I wanted to read to you. Hold on, I'm going to see if I can find it. We're going to get into all this in a minute here about the biometrics that are coming down the line here. Because that's exactly what they're bringing in, is biometrics. Because what's it called? The FBI has been working on a $1 billion program of biometrics. They've been working on a biometric program, $1 billion spending on all that stuff just for biometrics. And then the next generation identification is biometrics. So this is where everything is headed right now. So I just wanted to let people be aware that this is what's coming down the line very, very, very fast. So I just wanted to read to you guys this article here where they're saying that look at that. Global body ID system. Your body will be your ID. That's what they're saying. So they're connecting everything. Your global ID. Global body ID. Your body will become your ID, which will come through biometrics, where they're conditioning, they're programming the people to get ready for the mark of the beast. The devil is very, very clever. He knows exactly what he's doing, and this is what's taking place. So I just want to read this to you guys here. Your body is your ID. Okay. Here it is right here, guys. So I'm going to read this to you. It says, your body is your ID, enrolling the world into a single global biometric ID system. The world is being enrolled into a single global system of identification and financial control. One's body is now directly linked to the control of financial transactions through the biometric ID, an international ID system that uses computers to automatically identify individuals based on unique physical characteristics such as facial image, facial recognition, and digital fingerprints are common forms of biometrics. Almost all states and nations now use biometrics to identify their residents. Facial recognition software uses a high-resolution photo to create a digital map of the face. This map is linked to another personal data, name, social security number, etc., to create one's unique biometric identity. A photo collected for a driver's license, ID card, DLID card, or passport can be used to directly enroll individuals into a global ID system over which they have no control, and that can be used to identify and track individuals in public using surveillance cameras. To create a global biometric system, states and nations must, number one, enroll their citizens, DLID cards, passports, national ID, school ID, etc. 2. Adopt international standards for document, photos, and data sharing. Number 3. Link databases for global information sharing, global ID tracking, and surveillance. Such a system is the goal of the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, according to Robert something, DHS visit, who stated that information sharing is approximately around the world, and DHS plans to create a global security of international shared biometric data that would primarily link individuals with biometric ID personal information held. So you see that what it's saying? Global security. Now, I want to get into all this. So, 9/11 was an inside job. Okay? The United States government funded the Al-Qaeda. They created the Al-Qaeda. They needed to create an invisible enemy so they can take away more of our rights, more of our freedoms. So that's exactly what they did. So now you have more surveillance and all this stuff. Because 9/11 changed the world completely. Like when you go to an airport today, they pat you down, or you have to walk through those things, or whatever you want to call them. But you have the choice not to go through those things, those X-ray things you go in, because they actually see your body naked. Okay, they got caught that they actually keep those pictures of people, their naked bodies. These people are sick perverts. Okay, and they're trying to get people to walk through this. But you have the right not to. You can say, just pat me down, I'm not walking through this X-ray machine here. So, now they're saying we need to come up with something, because many people's cards are getting fraud. Like, an example, my mom's money got stolen out of the bank from somebody that was in Germany. Somebody in Germany somehow hacked into her bank account and took out lots of money. And all kinds of stuff. People can make false, all kinds of stuff. A false ID. People make counterfeit money. You don't know if it's good, because they're all professional. They know how to make false money. Like here in Canada, our money is going plastic. They said it's harder to counterfeit the money here if it's plastic, you know. So that's what they're doing. But they say money is the reason for crime. Like, think about it. Prostitution, taxi invasions, bank robberies, and all this drugs going in and out of the country with these guys with suitcases full of money. And they say that money is filthy. It's filthy lucre. It carries viruses on it. That's the reason for the H1N1. That's what I heard from somebody. So they're trying to make it real good that cash has to go. And by the way, everything today is done electronically. We're living in an electronic world. And even one of the guys that I was listening to said that was the very first step towards a cashless society. We needed an electronic, they needed to create an electronic system. And that's when they created the, what's it called? The MasterCard that came in. See how fast we have moved, ladies and gentlemen? We went from paper to plastic. And next is that single card, which will be your biometrics. Let me get into this. So yeah, we're all fighting terrorists. We're all fighting this big war on terror, which is not true at all. They create it so they can manage the solution. They create a crisis so they can manage the solution. So they're going to make it all sound nothing but good. This new system that we have in place for everybody is to protect you from identity theft. It's so many people out there can give a social security number. We don't know who he is. We don't know who this person is. This person could be anybody off the street. Like with today's society, they're professionals at making a fake ID and all this. That could be, how do we know that he is who he says he is? So, and plus with these politics saying, oh, where did all the money go? They're all fighting against each other. We don't know where all that money went. But yet, if you were in a cashless society, you would know exactly where the money is just by the tip of your fingers. Because there'll be no more money. Everything will be digitalized. Everything will be done under the computers. And that's exactly where we are headed, towards a cashless society in a one-world government, exactly as the Bible predicted over 2,000 years ago. This Bible predicts that there's coming a cashless society. They're going to make it sound like nothing but good. So this is a new security. We need to create a better world for everybody to get along in. We don't have to worry about people's money getting stolen. And plus these people, you know how long it took them to make that amount of money? They worked for years for that money, and yet some small out of a certain other country stole it out of their own bank account. So we need to come up with a more safer system for the people. And that system is biometrics. Because there's nobody like you. Your characteristics, your body characteristics. Think about this, ladies and gentlemen. Biometric stands for 3 measurements of the body. They're going to take your hand. They're going to analyze it on their machine. They're going to take it, scan it, and it's in their database. It's in the computer. And then they're going to put these things on your eyes. It takes a picture of your eyes, and then they take a digital photograph of your face. So now your eyes and your face is in the database. Just like what happened in India. 1.2 billion of its citizens has gone to a biometric ID program, numbering all their citizens. And without it, you can't get a job, you can't get nothing. So this is what they're bringing to the whole entire world. Because their biometrics is their power grid. It's in the Pentagon documents. It's in the Pentagon documents, ladies and gentlemen. They said that every American will be trapped. They're going so far, bragging, saying that George Orwell, here we come. Like that book that they wrote. The name of the book is called 1984 by George Orwell. Like it talks about the government knowing your thoughts, knowing everything about you, the omnipresence to the surveillance cameras. No matter where you go, the government will be watching your every move, every step you make. Imagine, that was back in 1984, that book. Well, actually, the name of the book is 1984, but the book was written in 1948. Like, they have so many things, like hope and tragedy, where we're shifting, where we're steering the world to. We're shaping the world. Like, they're going for financial control. And this is where the biometrics comes in, and this is why you guys need to resist this. Not if, but when it comes, because it's coming. It's coming down the line, people. So biometrics, like we just said, it stands for 3 measurements of the body. The hand, the face, and the eyes. So, this is what they're going to do. So, now, when you hand over your biometrics, they're going to give you a card. It's going to have your face on it. And it's either going to have an eyeball next to the picture or a fingerprint. So now when you go to a banking machine, the only way that you can take that money out of the bank, like say somebody steals your card or whatever, they won't be able to take your money out, because this is what's going to happen. You go to the banking machine, you put your card in there. Now that machine is reading the fingerprint or the eye on the card. It's reading it. And then there's going to be a light below the machine. Probably they're going to have these in the banking machine. They're going to have a light it's going to turn on, which is telling you to put your finger on the finger scanning teller. It's going to read your fingerprint, and it's going to verify if it's the exact same fingerprint that's on the card, or it's going to read the eye that is on the card, and you put your eye to that thing, and it just reads your eye. And if it matches the same eye, and if it matches the same finger that is on the card, then you will be accepted, and the money that you want to take out, it will give you. And if it is not you, then you cannot take the money out. Total control, people. Financial dictatorship. And some people say, yeah, but what if somebody steals my fingerprints? What if somebody steals your fingerprints? Well, think about it. If you go to a store, like a grocery store, because they're bringing the hand scanning machines in and everything. This is coming, people. Okay? This is coming down the line so fast right now. So think about it. You go to a grocery store, you say somebody steals your fingerprints, think about this. They have to have your card to pay for it, because there's no more cash. No more cash. They thought of everything, these people. So think about it. On that card, whose face is on the card? You know? Whose face is on that card? Your face. Not his or her face. So when he puts his hand on the thing, it's not going to match the palm. It's not going to match the pattern of the... Like, you know, your face is going to come up on the database. And the cashier is going to be like, what? This guy does not match what I'm seeing on my computer. Maybe this guy did a crime and he stole someone's fingerprints. You see? They will know right away that something's wrong. And there will be a police officer, an officer will come and take the person or whatever. But this is what they're planning, to have all your history on a single card, biometrics, and this is what's coming. This is what's coming, people. Exactly what the Bible said. You see how they're conditioning people to do a financial transaction with a body part. You won't be able to buy or sell unless you do a palm scan. Unless you buy something, you have to scan each time. You're going to have to scan to travel. You're going to have to scan to go on the computer. Because you might be a terrorist. We don't know who you are. If you don't hand over your biometrics, it's because you're hiding something. And blah, 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 blah. We're going to get all into this in a minute. But anyways, that's what's coming down the line is biometrics. I just wanted to share this with you guys. And it all ties in to what we just saw. The global economy. This is all going global. For a safer world, we need to come up with a safer system. But not just that, but they're going to unify the world economically and religiously. They're going to unify this world religiously, which is a one world religion with a one world government. One world money system, which will not be money. It will just be with your card, a single card, and then after that will be the mark of the beast. Because this is just a stepping stone. You see how they're conditioning people to taking the mark of the beast, getting them used to paying for stuff with their hands or with their face, because they can do a facial recognition with your face. So anyways, I want to get into this right here. And this is exactly what they're calling for. Listen to this. Timothy Geithner, former president of the Federal Reserve. We need a new global monetary authority. In de facto global financial dictatorship operating across borders and forcing nations and corporations to register and adhere to strict monitoring and regulations. Now listen to this, people. Remember we said we need a global economy? Well, look at this. The Single Global Currency Association. I didn't even know that they had an association by this title. This is what people are working on, people. They are working on this. The Single Global Currency Association is calling for the, what? Australian government? Japan? Australia? Canada? US? No. No, they're not. They're calling for the world. Look at this. The Single Global Currency Association is calling for the world to embrace a single global currency to be managed by a global central bank within a global monetary union. Once you get a global monetary union, everybody's in the same thing, then they control over everybody. Just like the Rothschild said, I don't care who changes the laws, as long as I control the currency, I control the money. If I control the money, I control you control the people. Think about it. He said, one of the Rothschilds said, I do not care who changes the law. As long as I control the currency, I control the money. If I control the money, I control the food. If I control the food, I control the people. Total control. Absolute power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. So this is where everything is headed right now, people. And isn't this funny too? Look at this. This was 2013, this year. A new biostamp tattoo is developed that attaches to the wearer's skin and will allow them to replace all passwords and all other forms of identification. Other forms of identification. So, and yet some people that work at airports, they're saying that they don't want to talk about the cards anymore. Now if you work at the airport, now you need a chip to be implanted in you. You see how they're getting, they're getting the society to accept these things? And yet I want to read this to you guys about microchipping people. Look at this here. This was right after 9/11, people. This was right after 9/11 that this guy came out. This guy, his name's Andy something. On 60 Minutes. This is what he had to say. We need some system for primarily identifying safe people. So if you don't take this, so basically he's saying if you don't take it, you're not a safe person, you're violent. Look, we need some system for primarily identifying safe people. Most of us are never going to blow anything up, and there's got to be something better than one of these photo IDs. I wouldn't mind having something planted primarily in my arm that would identify me. And this is John Walsh right here as well. John Walsh. This is what John Walsh had to say. John Walsh of America's Most Wanted said about implants. It's a brilliant idea. I wish someone would develop it because, number one, time is crucial when a child is missing, and you could locate them by the chip. And even if you weren't lucky enough to locate them, finding the body is crucial for two things: the ending of the search of the presents and helping with the prosecution of the case. So I hope that somebody develops that in my lifetime. Well, they already have it, you know. You have the Verichip Corporation, you have Digital Angel, you have the FDA implanted a human microchip. Like, so many people already have chips in them. And look what they're saying now if you don't take this chip. Look at this. Because if you're not chipped, you're probably hiding something and are absolutely dangerous. And believe it or not, even the former Pope is saying being tracked with this technology is perfectly fine. He even implanted it for his staff at the Vatican. And you know what? When that person said this, when the Pope came out and said that, somebody afterwards said, "This is good," especially hearing the Pope saying that this does not concern the Pope. This has not. He didn't say this has anything to do with Revelation about the mark of the beast. So it's a great thing that the Pope's saying that this is nothing dangerous. What's the Bible say, my friend? The Antichrist and the false prophet will dupe the whole entire world to receiving the mark of the beast. Receive it or die. People are going to be deceived. That's why I'm making all these videos, so that people will understand when these things do happen. But my prayer for you is that you will come to know Jesus Christ before any of this. Because for us that are in Christ, we will not be here. God, in His great infinite love, has recorded it in His Word, so that the people that are left behind, they will know not to take it. They will know that God forewarned of this day coming. He told us everything before it even happened. And look what they're saying here about the DHS and the FBI. If you don't have a chip in you, do your duty and rat them out. It's coming, people. This is not a joke, man. This is where we are headed. Look at here. Look at this. And it says right here, and we soon see FBI, DHS bulletins distributed to doctors, retailers, and government bureaucrats about how to identify like suspicious behavior, you know? Threatening activities of non-chippers. If you see unchipped, say something. It's your duty. It's crazy. But anyways, this is what I wanted to show you guys. The Bible said this, and this is the fulfillment. All this technology is leading us directly to the mark. I never thought that I'd be seeing all this stuff in my lifetime. I can tell you that for sure. I never even thought in my wildest imagination that people would willingly take a chip. You guys can go see videos on YouTube where people are literally taking a chip. Like, they're crazy, man. Like, you know, they're putting chips in Alzheimer people. They don't know nothing, these people. And yet they're chipping them. And that you have people that are at the Baja Club, they're VIPs, they think it's so cool, I got a chip. And they just scan their shoulder, and everything comes up on the computer. And that's how they get their drink or whatever. And even that other family, right after 9/11, I became concerned for my family. So now they're getting chips, they have chips in them. Like, I need a peace of mind. Take a chip and you have a peace of mind. And they're advertising it on the television shows, Law and Order, where they had this little girl. She had a chip in her, and her parents said the reason for that chip was because if my child goes missing, I'll be able to identify her immediately by satellite. And now in the blacklist, series that is on, there's a guy that has chip implanted underneath in his neck, making it all sound good. Remember this, people. They always throw it on the society that it's a good thing. It can save your life. It can protect you. Like this other guy. This police officer was diabetic. He got into a car accident because of a high-speed chase. I think his motor got overheated and something happened. So he crashed. He was unconscious. And they were able to identify him because he had a chip implanted in him. So without that chip, you know what? I'd probably have went into a coma. But because I had that chip in me, it saved my life. They always try to make it sound for good, but don't be duped by them, people. This is the Antichrist system. Everybody in the future is going to be forced to take a chip. It probably will be an RFID chip. That's what it looks like. Everything is headed towards RFID. They said very soon, RFID tags are going to replace the barcodes. If it's not the microchip, then it's going to be a computer mark, maybe a laser mark, a biometric mark, electronic tattoo mark will be on you that's connected to their computer and will identify everything about you. But I know that biometrics is coming. Or it may be that computer chip right beneath the skin. Let me see what the Bible says for a minute before I close here. Revelation 13. If it says in the skin or on the skin. Revelation 13. Okay, and he caused all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand. But other ones say in their right hand, but because it could be like a tattoo, like, you know. They have RFID tattoos and they have all kinds of stuff that can track you by satellite. Because that's all that is about. It's total control. So, and they're going to control all the money. Global currency is coming too. Now, the one world government, one world currency, one world monetary system, one world regulator. They want a global entity to control the food supply, water, everything. And they're going to unite this world economically and religiously with a one world government, with a one world religion. It's that for peace and justice for all. The only way that we can establish peace and justice for all is if we stand as one. The world must stand as one by establishing a one world government. That's what they're going to do. Because think about it. Unite all the countries. You're no longer fighting with one another anymore. You eliminate war, which is a lie. Because the Bible clearly says there's war. It's going to be... This is the Antichrist. Okay? This is what's happened. This is what's coming. So my prayer for you is, whoever's listening to this, if you feel God dealing with your heart to get right with Him, my prayer for you is that you will get right. If you feel God dealing with your heart. And if you want to get saved, you can get saved. So this is all I got to say. So I'm signing off from here, and God bless you all.